Hello everybody, welcome back to Stories, Path of Destinies.
It was time to choose.
This time,
the rebellion was in trouble.
remember,
Ravens were scouting for the secret.
we're gonna go for the
base.
Sky Reaper again this
They
time,
needed a game changer.
but we'll go
Pieces
for
of
the
Sky
frogs
Reaper
this
had
time.
surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon
And
that
see
banished
how
the lost
that's
gods
gonna
could defeat
roll
the
out.
Emperor. Also, a temple had
Right.
risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game
I wanna try,
changer, but
like,
could
probably
Renato really leave an old
I'll probably
friend to
finish
the
the
Ravens?
the perfect roof before. I'll do one more, or I go for the
Every
Iblis
child
one
knew the
and try to
Sky
use that.
The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth?
Yeah, he did. Can I? There we go. I mean, we already went through the same story for that one. We're gonna move a bit faster this time. Since we already know about the Sky Reaper, and we're gonna go for the Sky Reaper and the Sky Reaper core. I don't know what happens if you go for one of the others, and then you also go for the Sky Reaper. That's kind of interesting. Like, I can go for Lapino, then the Sky Reaper pops out. Or I can go for the Iblis Stone, and I can also get the core of the Sky Reaper, right? I thought different ways can mix and match them. But I want to try and go for the stone, and I do not become a bloodthirsty mongrel. That'll be fun. Alright. Alright, that should be fun. What time is it? It's 11 in the morning. Alright. They should go a bit faster, right? I mean, we're gonna go for the core, and that should be it. Then we're gonna... we can go for the frogs. First time, the second time, I don't know. God, the first loading screen is... oh! So long!
As he set foot in the island,
Like fucking Long
Renato
Johnson
could not
long.
help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Sky Ripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Sky Ripper was
I
a
said
long
grab
shot.
these chests, because
He'd
they're
have to
easy to
devote
grab.
himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
I mean, yeah, because I'm controlling him. So I can't do that.
Sorry, mustache, thought Renato.
Oh, motherfucker. Hit me. And I can open
Now
all
road
the
less traveled,
doors.
thought Renato. How intriguing.
Oh boy, it's...
in your next life.
930 experience?
That had been his
I got
mistake
hit.
before.
Ooh.
Thinking he could win a battle of wills with an ancient evil all by himself. He had to be cleverer than that. Or braver. Or something.
The truth behind Skype is shrouded in a thick fog. The most unbelievable tale is that the Transcendent Emperor has used Skyreaper to banish Iblis. Then the Emperor buried the weapon and vanished. With self-imposed exile to rid the world of its last divine presence, what is the price to pay for such a tremendous power? Can Skyreaper and Iblis have a deeper connection than just the weapon and its victim? My ritual will summon the Iblis Stone. Perhaps I should worry that they will they also cause Skyreaper to resurface. If that is the case, I should spare no resources to find it. A weapon can banish a good... Yeah, we already raised one. Or is somewhere else? Oh, we went through here. Alright, we didn't take the other path.
It's a very cool sword.
I remember.
No, seriously. He couldn't feel his paw anymore.
Oh,
There was a cat in this one.
awesome.
And something useful.
Hmm. Wait, am I in the same place again? I am, what the fuck? Oh, that was weird. Now it makes sense. Unless you get to this place and don't know what the fuck, just... Don't you go through
Two
exactly?
eyes good. One eye dead.
Oh! Hold on, buddy. Die, old pal. Chill. Style acceptable.
We're not allowed puzzles. Except when he couldn't figure them out. On the other hand, if there was a puzzle, it was probably meant to
Shouldn't
keep
even
people
matters
away
if
from
you do the other one
something
first,
good.
but hey. It's left, right and left. There are more health. I have 200 health now.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. But how is it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist.
We know about this.
First, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature.
No, we're gonna go for the Skyreaper, the core.
To face her.
Because, I mean,
She would
we don't have a Skyreaper then. Like, if I only have the core, I guess that could work. No, we don't know. We don't. Fuck Alpino. Good. through this a bit faster, right? Try to uncover another truth. Actually move the story along. Be nice.
He looked up at the
if I
old
could
trees
play.
around him. They were so big and so old. They'd been there before he was born, and they'd be there after he'd passed into legend. Was he confronting his own unimportance? What had got into him? He was no philosopher. Anyway, who cares? He was plenty important. He was a hero, and soon he'd prove it.
I'm talking my other gym, the crit one. Okay. There's no director. The company has told me how much he was impressed by our academic performance and leadership. Somehow I doubt this was a session of bootlicking. I've seen plenty of those. That old toad is sincere and proud of you, my daughter. You'll make a fine empress one day. On my end, great news. Professor Calaveras has been studying the Nexus and has made a bold observation. That toad is a true genius. You know how that island is unique as a charging. Wait, no. Different. No. It's unique crystalline completely alien fragments smashing, splintering, slowly drifting, held together by some invisible threads. Michelvesco is convinced those things are not random, but rather indicative of the living nature of the islands. He has observed the sturdy changes of the nature. Nexus flows of or something precedes turbulence on another island. Landslide, quake, flood. The Nexus seems to be reasonable of those events. Maybe the islands are hive mind and the Nexus is the brain. In any case, I'm finding a permanent scientific observatory on the Nexus. It will attract Empire's greatest minds. Professor Caraveras at the helm. Display great age of enlightenment of the Empire. Beloved father. Too much reading. You think I be used by this point to talk? Gotcha. The throw is just not that useful.
The rock felt hot in his hand. He could feel its secret power.
Nah. Only level 2. What's up, buddy? Oh, where are we going next? Oh, I like this place. It's a cool area.
You couldn't hack this kind of firewall. You had to warm it up to you. You almost never saw wild gogglers together like this. The toads had to train them not to peck each other to death. So these had to be Imperial gogglers. That meant ravens were up ahead.
Oh, there's another one over there. Man, we fought so many ravens already. What do you expect at this point? So that's why it's like way too slow to
don't smell any better when you're dead.
Just slow to throw. Get hit. There we go. Upgraded.
There were fewer and
Now
fewer
crit
trees.
attack speed.
There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest. The mice and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry too. This was an unhealthy place to be. This couldn't be good for global warming.
Yeah, no way. I need some energy. Not hard to do. Moving on.
You guys ever eat fresh food? Because you don't smell
I
like
just
it.
hit myself in the face with some watermelon. No task. No story. It's quite short, but it's beside the point. Yeah, it actually becomes quite useful to 5. Wow. I think we got a Skyreaper here.
The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick.
Okay.
Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark art and
You know about
he
this
hadn't
one.
liked what he smelt and saw there. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy.
Now we're gonna
And
go
if
for
it
the
wasn't,
toads.
well, better to know that before
That's
the
more
final
useful.
battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it. Well, of course. If you've just assembled a weapon out of legend that can exile gods from the world, you'd want to have a scientist or two look at it. And even if they disagreed and he had time, he could ask Calaveras himself. Yes, the observatory would be his objective.
Again, I know. Still, I'm still hitting the face with a melon. So it's like a like a really like 4.5 kilograms watermelon. It's really easy. Like I had like those medical like balls filled like sand. You have to like throw into stuff with it. Those were like heavier than this watermelon. Funny enough.
Why had the parts of the Skyreaper only surfaced now? Thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had dismantled it. The mad Emperor Isengrim had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Was that why these ancient artifacts were rising out of the ground? How perfect, then, that the Skyreaper would reappear to be his distraction. Gone beautifully.
I like how just one other guy
When you need
appeared.
it.
Oh yeah, a part make things even more annoying. Sounds good. Why would you hope to you? Me upgrading the swords. Meh.
He hadn't noticed that path before.
Like I only use the healing for energy anyways. So what's the point? this big ass stair. Nobody would ever climb this. I would take those platforms for a ride before I touch these. Asshole. Too far.
Once, Renato had been to a dungeon where all the chests were locked. It was awful.
Yeah, those have. I have no keys.
A legendary weapon was exactly what the rebellion needed. They were outnumbered. The once kind emperor had become a tyrant. But his ravens stayed loyal, for he fed them his victims, and the other animals were too frightened to rebel. Renato shuddered at what the emperor was trying to do. To bring back the lost gods, the Black Harvest, the Black Sun? No. He would stop that toad, no matter what the risk.
No more stairs. This is
a
different one.
workbench. Did he have any jewels he hadn't tried
Funny
out?
one.
He had.
I have this puzzle. I hope I won't be dead. Okay. I'm asking for too much.
Renato wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles.
Nobody knows. Stupid raven. Sorry. I fucked up that raven. Way too hard.
Smashing things was fun.
Use sword. Oh. Look, whenever I get to this, like, he immediately starts to sleep. It's like, calm down, chill, chill.
Renato was thrilled. The scientists seemed to think he'd put the Sky Ripper together right. But one toad was worried.
Yeah, the Sky Ripper could carve a hole in existence itself. There are invisible strings that tie the universe together. If the Sky Ripper cut one, the hole would widen and widen until our whole existence fell into it.
Another toad sighed. Erling still believes in string theory.
At least go see Calaveras.
Yeah, said the worried toad.
He knows more than anyone else has forgotten about the Transcendent Emperor.
If anyone could tell him how to use this weapon safely, it would be Calaveras. It was he who had told Renato how to find it in the first place. But maybe he had to give up on using it as a weapon. Maybe he had to go to the secret rebel base and ask the generals there what he could do with a weapon that he dared not use.
Oh. This is a toad. Calaveras works with the Emperor, something like that. Super weapon without using it. Right, I think
On the way to the ruins of the city of Ubar,
it's because Calaveras
Bernardo
works
had
with the
plenty of
guy.
time to ponder what the toads had said. Strings and holes and something called anti-stuff. Well, he didn't understand any of it, but it made him nervous. Bernardo would hear one metaphor and decide the Sky Ripper was safe, and then another, and worry it was catastrophically dangerous. If it could destroy the entire world, nothing was worth risking that. But if it couldn't, then not using it would be an act of cowardice. He would bring the Sky Ripper to the council. Wiser heads would know what to do.
I go for the council. And yeah, I'm gonna do that. I guess we're gonna bluff using it. I don't really wanna go Calaveras. Because, you know, he works with the Emperor. So no.
The truth was, if it wasn't safe, then it was dangerous. They couldn't use it. He'd found the Sky Ripper for nothing. He should have rescued his friend Lupino. Oh, he should have confronted Zenobia. He had nothing but his sword. But maybe the council would have an idea? That could come in handy in a pinch.
So I move faster to the word.
The ruins. Why were so many ravens scouring the ruins? Had someone betrayed the secret base? Where was a workbench when you needed one?
You better not.
Oh, never mind.
I have critical chance up. Roll level 3. It's kinda what I want. Let's see. Have attack speed crit. Like that, I think that one I just crit him.
Bernardo thought about how he could have used the Sky Ripper to assault the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. He shuddered. That could have gone very wrong.
I don't know if this is how we uncover the truth. It could be the completely wrong one. Alright, who knows?
A raven cawed, "There he is!"
I'll find out.
And they ran away, cawing. They knew he had the core, didn't they? And they were afraid of it. Little did they know, he couldn't use it. Wait, if they didn't know he couldn't use it... Yes, a sword can be powerful without ever being drawn from its scabbard. Anyone ever tell you have a lovely eye? No?
Stupid things do so much damage. Whoa. Chill.
The long stairs.
Ow.
So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
I just had to not fuck this fight up. So don't stay there. I can't see anything. No. Okay, I don't know what more gem I could get. I would have to actually fight something, right? Remember.
Had that door been open before?
I didn't. No, these things are so worthless. So I got 10 health out of it. Got 10 health out of that. Sure was worth it. What happened? Those things dropping stuff.
Renato barely made it to the hideout when he was shoved into a meeting room. He laid out his plan. They were shocked. Bluff the Emperor with an unusable weapon?
Yeah, it's brilliant, laughed Renato. He keeps sending ravens, none of them come back. How does he know it's my sword?
I suppose there's no harm if it fails. Take the Sky Ripper into a firing position.
Croaked the speaker.
I shall attempt to hail him by far, Speaker.
It was a huge bluff. Renato had no cards to play. Just a weapon that could maybe destroy everything he hated and everything he loved. Could he be sure it wouldn't work? No, of course not. Of course the Emperor couldn't be sure it wouldn't work, and he must believe in ancient weapons if he hoped to bring back the lost gods, right?
I mean, yeah, it's totally work. I mean, you see it all the time on TV. Why wouldn't it work in real life? Or a game. And I mean, poker is real life and this is a game, but that's besides the point. Right? That's how it works? Maybe.
What terms could he offer Isengrim III? Now, he would have to step down, obviously. And accept the rebellion? Was that asking too much? Maybe Renato would ask him to make Zenobia Empress. Yeah, his daughter, after all. She would never sacrifice innocent kittens and puppies to bring back the lost gods. No. Renato had to seem confident. Overconfident, even. Like he was sure he could blow up the Emperor's ship to hell. I mean, who believes a cautious bluff?
The portal was heavily guarded. It must go someplace they really didn't want it to go.
Nice. Hello. Seems to take less time while doing this way.
No skateboarding.
Instead of going for the chest. Have to chill my character down before.
Red spots on your feathers. Oh wait, not yet.
I just died. Oops. Take too many hits from stupid sword guys, shield guys.
That had gone rather well, actually. Oh, it was strange. Fighting to place a weapon he could not use. But he could end the war tonight with just a threat. So much more humane than destroying a ship or an entire fleet. And then he would destroy the Sky Ripper in case some other adventurer was tempted. You never knew about some of these other foxes. Soon, it would all be over.
He'd once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his ship. What was his name again?
Damn it. Very close.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor.
Oh really? I thought it was gonna be
Funny that this
one
whole
across
war
away.
had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
I mean, okay, let's see how this one goes. Let's bluff him.
He set up the Sky Ripper and let it warm up. Zenobia came out, flanked by a whole platoon of ravens. "I know you, Reynardo. You won't actually use that," she said. "I know what the scientists told you, that it would totally blow up your fleet. You're reckless, Reynardo. Bold. Dashing. Brave. Devil-may-care. Wild. Impulsive. Hasty. Rash. Sometimes even a little harebrained, a bit feckless even. You just don't think things through. Oh, get to the point, woman! But you're not crazy. How do you know I didn't go crazy? Demanded Reynardo, doing his very best to look crazy. Well, go ahead then. Press the trigger. Oh, damn her. She'd seen through him again. She never fell for his bluffs. This was the moment to do something brilliant. To come up with exactly the right thing to say, to make a heroic move. That's what heroes do. Oh, but he couldn't think of anything that wasn't obviously stupid. He was too shocked to move. Her ravens came and seized the Sky Ripper. He stared as they pushed it over the side into the abyss. Hey! Oh, I fought really hard to get that. It should never have come back. And he had to admit she was right. She had always been right. It was one of the frustrating things about her. Years later, as he rotted to his death in an Imperial prison cell, Reynardo was still trying to come up with something clever and heroic that he could have done in that last moment. But he never could.
But he'd learned another true thing. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly.
Oh, I thought I fucked this up. Hero can turn a hopeless situation into an opportunity who can win a war without firing a single shot. Poker face. God, I'm a failure. Bar was actually unaware of the space thing business, so he went with a bluff. Bluff failed, and Ronaldo had no choice but to surrender. That's the wimpiest. At least I learned the Skyreaper core is unstable. Without me even firing it.
There would be a way
we'll
to
have
win.
the next thing is the
Renato
Lapino
could
something.
feel it. He'd have to explore choices he'd never made before he could figure it all out, though. And with that, the book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. And he fell. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base.
Okay, so lesson
They
one for
needed a game changer. Pieces of the Skyripper had surfaced.
so
Renato
the
knew that
Lapino.
using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact.
No,
It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster.
I think I have to not listen to
find a way
him.
to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
And we'll find out in the next video. And for a second, I was like, oh, just put me in prison. Good job, Bernardo. Sometimes I'm a moron. God damn it. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.